Welcome back to the Broad Street Sports Podcast featuring Zachary Chavy, and today I got special guest Justin. What's going on, man?
What's up, man? How you feeling?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Yeah. So we're
Excited
gonna
to be on here.
So we're gonna talk about the Super Bowl today. It happened last Sunday. It was between the Eagles and Chiefs. It was a rematch of 2 years ago, and the Chiefs were looking for the three-peat, but the Eagles were able to just completely dominate them throughout and prevent another three-peat. What were your thoughts about this game?
It was a really, really great game for Eagles fans. I personally enjoyed it. Most of my family enjoyed it that we're watching. It was kind of sad for Chiefs fans because I thought they expected a lot more. You know, Patrick Mahomes stepping up, just leading his team to victory. But the Eagles just asserted their dominance in the Superdome and just pulled off a second Super Bowl win.
Yeah, just honestly going into it, I was really nervous. It's just, you don't know, because the Chiefs, like, they weren't this. I feel like this was the worst they've been in years, and you just still thought they were going to go in there and do what they needed to do. But the first three drives, I think it really showed a lot of this Eagles team. They were able to just completely, it was like 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. Like, they asserted their dominance from the beginning. And it didn't stop from there. Like, started from the beginning, and it literally went up to the very end when Milton Williams knocked out the ball for Mahomes, and Jalen Carter just shoved Mahomes in the face. Like, their aggressiveness and just wanting to play, I think that's what won the game, and the Chiefs weren't ready for that. So,
No, their defense understood, like, they had to stop Saquon Barkley from scoring more yards, and they did that, but they weren't ready for our offense, you know. Just looking at the standards overall, the Eagles had much better standards than the Chiefs, and the Chiefs weren't as good as they were like 2 years ago when they faced off in Super Bowl 57. So I think this game proves more.
yeah, definitely. And it shows that I feel like a lot of people have doubted Jalen Hurts, and they can do it all they want. It really doesn't matter to me. Like, he's not going to put up the flashy stats like these quarterbacks, Lamar, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen. He's not going to put up those kind of stats, but he's going to win you games when he need to. And Saquon was completely shut down on Sunday, and Jalen made the plays he needed to make. He had 11 rushes for 72 yards and was 17 of 22 for 221 passing yards and a touchdown. The only mishap he had was an interception, which was a miscommunication with the offensive line. But he played efficient football and was just able to destroy Steve Spagnuolo's defense. And I feel like the plays he was able to make is what helped them on offense, because their defense was getting turnovers for them, and their offense executed off those turnovers for touchdowns. So,
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, but we'll move on and talk about the halftime show. What were your thoughts about that with how Kendrick did, and like just pretty much, you know, the beef that him and Drake have? Like, what were your thoughts on it as a whole?
Yeah, listen. As a fan of both of these artists, I listen to them constantly. You know, I love them both, like regardless of the music or not. But Kendrick had a very stellar performance, I would say, in my opinion. I know that there's been some hate going around here saying, "Oh, it was a poor halftime show, and it was only good because SZA actually came onto the set and had a special guest performance." But yeah, I think if people like really understood this halftime show and just fully understood the beef between those two and just dove like deep more into this halftime show, like people would really understand it. Because how Kendrick he had it set up like almost kind of like a video game. This was like game over for Drake, where he just exposed him in front of the entire world.
Yeah, his main goal, like when he got the call on when he was doing this, he knew what he was going to do. Like to have that, like he had a plan and set, and he wanted to make a statement and pretty much just assert his dominance. I feel like over Drake, like like most of it was just like a shot at Drake. I mean, he has some good music, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't focused on like getting his brand up. He mostly just wanted to show that he pretty much wanted to squash this all together and like pretty much show that he was the better person, I guess. But not like, I don't know, like I guess just saying like pretty much like there's a lot of things that you have done, but like I don't know. You can just continue. Sorry.
Yeah, no. I like what you said. Yeah, but as far as like the track list goes, I feel like he could have just chose out like more classics from some of his albums. Instead, he focused more on like his the DNA and like the humble, like 2 tracks off that album, and then more of like the GNX was more recent because people wanted to hear a lot more on that album.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah,
And then
but
did you? Sorry, go. Continue what you're saying.
no. But yeah, he could have done like a lot worse to Drake. Like even though he kept it family friendly, it was on national television. He
Mm-hmm.
could have done like so much more worse. But yeah, just seeing him perform "Not Like Us" at the Super Bowl, it's just very monumental for him. I feel like that's kind of what he expected out of the fans, like how they reacted to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Overall, I think it was a solid halftime performance. I wouldn't say perfect halftime. There's like still some hate going around,
Yeah.
but yeah, solid.
Yeah, but
Very
that's the
solid.
Yeah, that's the question I actually wanted to ask you. Did you think he was gonna sing "They're Not Like Us"? But did you think he was going to sing it, or did you not think like?
Yeah, no, I've had it in there. I think some sources said like, no, the NFL told him like you can't do that because like it's allegedly like talking about this type of person. You could get sued for that.
Mm-hmm.
But Kendrick was like, fine, I'll take a suit. It don't matter, and he just went and did it. You know,
Yeah.
it was just a very pivotal moment for him. Like at this time, like being such a successful rapper in this generation, you're just gonna go in there and just expose Drake in front of the whole entire world. Just make a lot of people view this man differently for who he is.
Yeah, and I feel like that's for like any halftime show. Like, I feel like a halftime show for the Super Bowl, it's one of the biggest events usually of the year, and it could either raise someone's career or completely flop it because there's been some bad halftime shows that like ruin some people's reputation like as a whole, and there's been some that have like just continued to help build their reputation because I feel like when you're on that national of a stage, everyone is watching, and some people are even watching the Super Bowl for that performance because they might not be the biggest football fan, but they're more of an artist fan, and they just love seeing that, and it pretty much can make or break your career. I feel like with how big of a stage it is.
Yeah, and apparently this is the most viewed halftime show now, and most viewed Super Bowl of all time now. So, just very incredible record.
Yeah.
So,
So, but getting back to the game, like just overall, like in the second half, it was more the same. The Eagles dominated. The Chiefs weren't able to get any points on the board until very late in the third quarter, and then it was just mostly cruise control for the Eagles. They took their starters out, very like with a couple minutes left. Sirianni got the Gatorade bath with 2 minutes left, and ultimately they won this game. But here's the ultimate question for you: how are you feeling in the days leading up to this game, or ultimately how are you feeling after we beat Washington and knew we were going to play Kansas City?
yeah. So Washington, we had no problem with that. I mean, even though they went in the divisional round, they destroyed the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
Which yeah, a lot of people were saying Jalen Daniels definitely deserves to go to Super Bowl because he just made history for the Commanders. So yeah, and the championship we were playing at home anyways. So we just asserted our dominance, 55-23 was it
Yep.
for the championship? Yeah. So and then taking 2 weeks off to go to New Orleans and just playing the Chiefs, I was just thinking how this could turn out, because a lot of times this game could have gone either way. Like the Chiefs almost had a comeback. Like they only got like 22 points. We scored 40.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, yeah, I've just been talking about it a lot. So like I said, it could have gone either way, but the Eagles just had better standards. The defense was just amazing. The offense did great as well, and Patrick Mahomes really could not get anything going with this team. So yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, I totally agree. It was like you said, like going into this game, it was a 2 week period, and I like that it's like a 2 week period because it helped some of our players get healthy. The media, they don't say anything about the media, but they hear them all the time how they talked
yeah,
and most of the stories leading up to the week, especially the week of the Super Bowl, we're talking about the Chiefs this, the Chiefs that, the Chiefs can't lose. This is history right here, and a team is. I think they were the first team
no,
to ever make it to us like Super Bowl with a chance to a three-peat, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And everyone was just talking about history like that and saying Mahomes is the best and stuff like that. And no one was really taking recognition on how great this Eagles team is. And they're saying, oh, Saquon gets shut down, Jalen and this offense stands no chance. And every statement they made was proved wrong. And it just goes to show that I feel like we were the best team all year. We had our time of adversity when we were 2-2. Sirianni was yelling at the fans after we beat Cleveland, and ever since then, this team came more and more together, and ultimately got to the point where they knew they could get to and won their second Super Bowl. It was mostly based on continuity built without the organization and the team, and just putting in trust in everyone on the team, and they put trust in the coaches, themselves, and were just able to have a great rest of the season, continued it into the postseason, and finished it off with the most ultimate goal in the NFL, winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, very big indeed. What a season, you know. Just that coming off that bye week, we did a lot for that, and I could not have been any more proud of these guys and like what they put into, the coaching, the defense, and the offense. You name it. This team did it all. They deserve it.
Yeah, and
So
to have the way they finished last season and then losing, like I said, the Super Bowl 2 years ago, it just goes to show that this goes all the way down to an organization thing. Just Howie Roseman being able to rebuild this team, get it better from 2 years ago, and Jeffrey Lurie just keeping having him and Howie Roseman making the decision to keep Nick Sirianni for another year when he was under a lot of fire and people thought he should have been fired. It just goes to show that if you want to be a great organization in this league, it has to start from the top to bottom, and it's this what it is for the Eagles, and that's why I think they can continue to be one of the greats. And who knows, maybe they can go back to back, but we won't know for now. We just got an off season to re-sign some players, retool, and be ready for next season. So
yeah, we'll definitely see how this is going to turn out.
yeah.
But yeah, if we can just keep having that same perseverance and confidence, this team could pull it off for sure.
Yeah, and that leads me to my final question for you. After the Super Bowl, how do you think both teams move on from this, and what do you think? What team you think's future was more impacted by this, and pretty much how both teams move from here? Like I said, and what these teams can do now to see if one can win and get back, and another one can go back to back.
Yeah. So we'll start off with the Chiefs because they've obviously lost the Super Bowl. They didn't play. They didn't play that great. Probably their worst performance they put up all year, all
Hmm.
season. So yeah, I know Patrick Mahomes wasn't very happy about that, saying how he let Chiefs Kingdom down and that he just couldn't get anything going. So I feel like he's definitely gonna have some time to um, just mourn about this a little bit. But like he said, he promised he'd be back next year to possibly go back to the Super Bowl. So if he just constantly gets some practice in with this team, like not constantly getting like 17 wins like carried by the refs because their season was just kind of fake to me. I feel like if they just put more work into the offense and defense as well, I feel like this team could just go back again. Um, but yeah, not too much to talk about on the Chiefs. The main focus is the Eagles because they've had such an incredible season. Just going 2-2 to having that bye week and then just winning like 15, 16 wins in a row and only losing one to the Commanders without Jalen Hurts.
Hmm.
This team like truly put in the work. They showed perseverance time and time again. And Nick Sirianni, he just showed everyone that anything's possible. It takes a team, and that they can do special stuff together.
Hmm.
So, and yeah, coming off this Super Bowl win, I know that they plan on having a parade Friday. So they'll definitely keep celebrating from that. Um, but yeah, and then just going back into the football season next year to possibly go back in San Francisco. Like I said, just the defense still just put in that work constantly. If that's that same defense that just came off that bye week, and they do it for this next year's season, they might just have an incredible year ahead of them and a chance for another Super Bowl to come back.
Yeah.
And the offense did their job too. Saquon Barkley, like truly a highlight for this team. Truly a highlight for this team. Like they would not be where they're at right now without him scoring like 2,000 yards, all-time rushing yards. So yeah, so shout out to him. But yeah, no, this offense was incredible too. Like you had guys like AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, just making plays after plays, and then all of them just soaking it in at the end, just letting everyone know what an incredible journey it's been for them. So if they put in the work as well, coming back into this football season, they could potentially go back and do it again.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And like you said about Saquon, like we would have been here without him. I totally agree, and it's like
No,
it's like what Sirianni says, and Saquon reiterates this a lot. You can't be great without the greatness of others, and I feel like that really has hit hard with the team because Sirianni's mantra all year has been tough, detailed together, and it showed. Every one of those showed in the Super Bowl. They were tough, detailed. They probably had a great week of film. They coordinated everything perfectly. They had everything set up for what the Chiefs offense wanted to do and what their defense wanted to do. And together, this team loved one another, and their relationship spanned outside of the football field. That's why Howard Roseman drafted so many Georgia players, because they already had that continuity with each other, and it's going now to the NFL. Nolan Smith, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean, Kelly Ringo, all guys from Georgia. Like, they are trying to build continuity here, and they're trying to build a family relationship here because all these players are family one way or another, and it just showed. And honestly, talking about, like you said, with the Chiefs, I know they can get back. Mahomes ain't gonna be shut down. Like this ain't gonna have any impact on him. He's such a great quarterback where he'll find a way to get back one way or another. If it's with a completely different roster next year or in the next couple of years, he'll be back winning another one. But it's gonna be very tough after what just transpired this year. And it was like after they lost to Tampa a couple years ago, they got back by losing the AFC Championship to the Bengals. So it should be interesting to see how they retool their roster. They have a couple of key free agents, so we'll see if they sign them back. And then, like you said, for the Eagles, if they can re-sign these key players that are free agents on defense, like Zach Bond, Milton Williams, if Josh Sweat wants to come back on a pay cut, and you have guys like Isaiah Rodgers, and then bringing back Mekhi Becton on a offense, if you bring back these key guys, you could easily run it back because this team is together. They're under contract for years to come, and they're just going to continue to build relationships. And Saquon, he might not have a historic year like he did this year, but he's going to put up that production if he can stay healthy. And behind this offensive line, I see that very likely. So, but overall, just both teams, they'll be back to some type of capacity one way or another. But I feel like this showed that the Eagles are here to stay, and they're going to be here for a long time, as long as they have these four key details set in stone. They have the owner, they have the general manager, they have the coach, and they have the quarterback. And they have those four building blocks here, and for the long run, it's going to be tough to stop them for the next, I think, 5 to 6 years at least.
Absolutely.
So, but anything else you want to mention about the game or the NFL season as a whole, or?
No, really, just talking about the game. I said originally my prediction was like low score because like both these teams are really good teams. Like don't get me wrong, but like now just overall like how this game came out, nobody saw this coming. Like this Eagles team just really meant business, and they showed it. They showed it all. They showed it throughout the entire season, and they've showed time and time again why they keep coming back and doing what they do because they put in the work.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And it, like, the week of preparation, I feel like the Chiefs had to. They weren't really getting asking questions about the game. They were getting more questions asked about the refs, the three-peat. It seemed like the Eagles were the more focused team all along. It feels like the Chiefs players and fans pretty much thought, oh, we're a bank to win this Super Bowl. There's nothing that's going to stop us. And surprisingly, the refs didn't even have to get involved because they really had no opportunities to, because the Chiefs' offensive line just could not block anyone on the defensive line. And it really didn't come down to a referee or anything. It just came down to the team that was more aggressive that night, and the Eagles were more prepared and ready to go, and it showed. So
yeah, the Chiefs in the first half did not get like anywhere close in our territory, and that kind of just made them like lose confidence in themselves a little bit.
Yeah,
and that kind of just how it, and just kind of how the game ended. So Patrick had like nothing left in him after that. So,
but anything else you want to say or mention, or
no? Overall, this is a win-win for Philly. So enjoy it while it's here.
Definitely. Yeah. But other than that, that's going to wrap up today's episode. I'd like to thank Justin for coming on and talking about the Super Bowl. I appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you for having me.
Yeah. And yes, sir. And other than that, enjoy the rest of the week. And for people going to the parade on Friday, be safe and enjoy it. It's going to be fun. I'm going to be down there, so it's definitely going to be fun. So
I'll also be down there.
Nice. Yeah. But other than that, it's going to wrap up today's show. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you later, guys.